Hey guys, it's Kai with Kai Dragon Gardening Cooking, and today we are going to show you the other tool in full action. This was the seed spacer that we were looking at, that we were making jokes at being a super pizza cutter. So what we're going to do today is plant beets. Now the cool thing about this allows you to plan exactly where you want it to go without using like a square. So it's another option, and it makes many rows. So for beets here, you got to have a 1/2 inch deep, and the seed spacing's 1 inch, and spacing between rows is 18 to 12 inches. So what you're going to want to do is set this up to where you're going to have this 1 inch for the lines, but you're also going to have it out so far. So what we're going to have to do on this is measure this out. So this says 12 to 18 between spacing. So how we're going to do that, take out a handy little tape here. We're going to measure from here to here. So from this one, it's 8 inches. So this one here is 1 foot. So now we got the measurement of what we need. We're going to go ahead and flip it over and then turn these to lock them into place so they don't go anywhere. So now that they're fully locked, that one's good. Now it should not give, and we got to remember to here's 12. So technically we can't really pull this one back, so we're just going to have to remember that it's 12 here. So we're just gonna cut the row in like this, and with the soil being loose and wet, it would help if I could do straight lines. Okay, so we got our first marker here, and then we got to remember, once again, 1 foot with the spacing. So how we're going to do this is we've got our first row here, so this is your foot. So we're going to do it again right here. Careful of the old marker here for the old gas line, which be sure to know where your gas is at all times, folks. That's a safety thing. So if you are doing non-raised beds, you don't accidentally hit a gas line. So make sure you always call. That's a safety tip. Last thing you will ever do is hit a gas line. They mentioned spacing about 1 inch apart. So what we're gonna do, take this again, loosen this, and now you should have a little bit of play. And you're going to want to measure a distance 1 inch. So that's about it, which seems awful small when you look at it. Just double check that. Seed spacing 1 inch. Okay. And be careful not to ruin your lines. So you're gonna come across here and down. Now I wouldn't go too far until you're ready, because as you can see, as we cross over the lines, some of them blur. That's why I didn't take all of them. Because now that I know where my lines are, I'll take this, open this up just a little bit, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the next one. That's this one. Okay, so we have this set up for our spacing, and of course we got another set right down here. The reason we're marking this is just so we have a good idea of what we're doing here, and then we're going to cut across here carefully as we can. Fortunately, this soil probably should have been turned a little bit better to do this. That's probably, I'd say, my fault, because of course you got straw and stuff still from remnants, but with us still being in a drought, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. But you still have the lines to show you where they need to go, and you can either do the cross section, but in this case, with this bed the way it is, I'm just gonna use my judgment on this part here.
Another tip that you can do, if you decide that you don't want to use any type of square gardening tools of any kind, and you're not sure about your seeds, as you can take a shaker bottle and put some very fine sand in it, and then throw your seeds in there and shake them out. You're going to want to thin out anything that's too close together or doesn't look like it's doing well anyway. Either way, whatever works best for you when you're doing your garden planning. We like to do the square foot gardening techniques with a little twist on it, because you do utilize your space better and you're able to grow more food in a smaller space. And we're just a small family trying to feed a family of 4 and, you know, give veggies to the neighbors. And like he said, we love beets. Nothing like having fresh beets with a meal. So I will let Kai take over with what he's doing, but I wanted to throw that tip in there that you can sow directly just by sprinkling them on and thinning them out later.
Companion plants are things that will grow well together. So for example, kale goes good with beets because they take 2 different resources. One's above ground, one's below ground. Like we did similarly with the broccoli bed in the previous video. This one, we're going to go ahead and put some kale, and as you can see, the seeds are really tiny, so I have to be really careful with that. And once again, I'm using some older seeds because we didn't plant as much kale last year. Just to make sure it's balanced, we're going to go just right in the center here without using the planting tool, because that is the halfway distance between the beets. And we're just going to drop these seeds in here.
And we will go back and put plant markers in so we know what we have planted in what bed.
Or use your journal. A great way to do that is mark which journal, and then you can tell what you did. That way, in case your markers go, you know exactly where you put everything. So another halfway distance right here. And this is a little bit rough soil because we just pulled thyme.
If you buy the Garden Sweet Garden Journal on Amazon by Ann Cheever, the pages are a dotted line where you can draw out your beds. There are also plain pages where you can draw or write, and also line pages where you can take notes. And as he said, draw out your garden plans. And that way, if you do have a windstorm, or, you know, we have pets, and our dogs do like to occasionally get inside the garden, especially if there's a kitty or somebody running about that's not supposed to be there, and a garden marker can get tossed out. And as Kai said, then you know exactly what's there while it's still a small seedling or still trying to develop. But you can plan ahead and just check out what you're wanting to do, and you can check out different companion plants that you might want to put together and see what's going to work best for you. But you always want to remember, grow the type of foods that you know that you and your family love to eat. It's okay to experiment, but if you're really wanting to grow food, grow what you guys love. You're going to get the most benefits out of growing something that you love to cook with and you love to eat, or just go out in the garden and snack between meals and nobody knows.
This tool still comes in handy, as we've showed with the other beds that have a lot more open soil that you can just run across and go. It's not that expensive, it's handy, and I know that kind of seems kind of strange because I didn't use it as much, but that's just because the way the soil is. So sometimes certain tools do not work as well, whereas in this bed I'm sure this would have done way better. But anyway, that's it for now. We'll show you the progress of these as time progresses, and we'll go from there. Well, this one was the cutter that we ended up having trouble with later on. Not really trouble, but the soil just didn't mesh well. But even with the straight lines, we got beautiful rows of crops coming up. Now these are going to have to be spaced out as they get a little bit bigger. Survival of the fittest. And that stuff should be your beets. So we still got direct lines going across. And we even have onions coming up. So everything's looking good. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more information. And appreciate you guys all. And until next time, peace.
We love you.